this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making sessions. We are up to week number 182, would you believe? I mean, oh my goodness, week 182. So for those people who watch my channel, you'll know that we are doing reruns. So what we are doing this week, we are mass making chipboard tiles for your junk journals. So the chipboard tiles, they can be used as then dangles, charms, you know, kind of just embellishments for your junk journals, you know, anything like that. They're just quick and easy little things that you can have kind of ready to decorate things with. So I have brought along a whole bunch of chipboard. Now I went through a phase, you know, I started out in the scrapbooking kind of realms, and I went through a phase of purchasing a lot of chipboard when it was kind of trendy. So I'd bought like this mass pack of all these different shapes. I mean, look at the size of that. It's huge. So I'm going to be using these kinds of chipboards. Now, if you don't have any of these types of things, these are quite thick, and I'm going to have to actually take these down to make them thinner to use. If you don't have any of these, then you could also use cereal box. Now, this isn't cereal box. This is some more chipboard that I happen to have in my stash, but you can see it's significantly thinner than that. Well, hopefully you can see it's significantly thinner than this one, but it still is a kind of, you know, chipboardy type, cardboardy type surface. So you could use kind of cereal box, which was where I was going with this. This is more like a cereal box kind of thickness. It's probably thicker than a you know, the cardboard on the cereal box, but you could use cereal box. And if your cereal box is a little bit flimsy, then what you could do is stick two together, you know, kind of two sheets together, so as you can thicken up your cardboard. The other thing that you could use is you could use like puzzle pieces, because they are obviously quite thick and they're the like chipboard, you know, not texture, but, you know, thickness. So that would be quite a good one. You could use the cover of a hardback book, you know, kind of just peel the outside coat off. Let me just try and find one to show you what I'm talking about here. So hold on a second. So for instance, this, I mean, as you can see, it is quite thick, but if I were to cut this off and then peel off like this outside cover, you'd probably get it down to a sort of reasonable thickness. So that's just some options for if you don't have, you know, the kind of shop bought, you know, crafting type chipboard. That's some other options that you could use. So what else are you going to need? I've bought some paint along, which I'm going to be using. I've got obviously a brush to, you know, to paint on the paint. And then I've also got mine is a sort of nail file thing, but you could use sandpaper or anything like that. And the reason you're going to use that is because you may want to sand your surface down a little bit if you've got this kind of thing going on. What I call the furry texture, when you kind of peel off a layer of something, you know, to get the chipboard. So that. I'm also going to use some decorative papers to be able to cover some of my chipboards if I didn't want to paint them. And I will apply those with Mod Podge. So again, I will actually use a paintbrush to actually kind of spread the Mod Podge. So then you're going to want some scissors to be able to cut your chipboard tiles down. I'm so sorry, I've got a horrible cold this week. I feel okay, but I do apologise because I may have to stop the camera several times to cough or, you know, sniff and things and blow my nose. Yeah, so you're going to need some paper if you want to do papers. Now again, I've brought in a whole selection of just little scraps, and you know, they really can be pretty tiny because the chipboard tiles are going to be tiny. So this is a brilliant one to use up some of your scraps, you know, smaller scraps. And aside from that, I've brought along some stamps. Now I've got these stamps, which these were in my shop in my, you know, build your own folio. These may be going to be a little bit on the big side, but we might try some. So that's those. Sorry about this. I've also got some butterfly stamps, which these are hopefully going to be on my website now to coincide with this video. So that's my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website, not my Etsy shop. Because I've been stocking that this weekend, so hopefully we're going to have a bit of a launch this week. And then my favourite ones to use are these ones. Now these are from Stupendous, and I was super lucky and was sent a new set of these. I had my set for a very, very, very long time, And I was so lucky because the lovely Michelle from our Facebook group, she actually sent me a whole brand new set of these. So these are Stampendous. They are called the Charm Collection. You cannot get these anymore in the UK, as far as I'm aware, unless they've relaunched them. But certainly you couldn't, you know, you haven't been able to for a long time. But Michelle did manage to get me some of these. So yeah, anyway, that's those. They're perfect size for this. And aside from that, I'm going to use my 1-inch circle punch. So 1-inch circle punch. Now again, it's going to depend on the thickness of your chipboard whether or not you're going to be able to use your circle punch. If you don't have a circle punch and you want to do circle charms, then you may want to use your Big Shot or something. You know, who knows, maybe you're much better at cutting out circles than me, and that would be fine too. Failing that, I'm going to just make a bunch of square chipboard tiles, and they look just as nice, to be honest. You know, if you're hanging these as kind of dangles and things like that, they're going to be just as nice. So, you know, please don't think that if you haven't got a circle, you know, you can't do this. You can. And then finally, I've got these little pieces. So these are from my Christmas freebie, which were for the decorated puzzle pieces. And I thought, well, actually, these would be fantastic for the chipboard tiles. So these are on my website. So if you don't have these yet, these are on my website, www.shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk, and they're under the freebies section. Okay, so go over and get some of those, and then you can add those to your chipboard tiles. So, right, other than that, stamp block to, you know, do my stamping. I think that's pretty much it. And then obviously you might want to have things like, you know, some ink and things like that to, you know, to finish your pieces off. Okay, so first stop of the day. Right. So this one here, as you can see, you know, it was this big cherry. Let me move these out of the way so we're not kind of really bogged down with all this stuff. So all I will do is try and take off like one of the layers. Now it doesn't matter which layer I take off or which layer I'm left with, perhaps I should say, whether it's the, you know, the top layer or the bottom, they're both kind of the same. But you just want to thin your chipboard down like that. And I mean, actually, this, to be honest, I could probably use both sides of this. I could probably use this side and this side now. So it's all fine. Okay, God, I've done the same with this already prior to, you know, prior to starting the video. And then again, we've got that one there. This again, you know, could probably, you know, probably use that. So that's those. Now, just going to, actually, I'm not going to punch them first. I'm going to just sand them first with my sanding block. Okay, so you want to sand them a little bit just to get rid of what I would call this furry texture. You know, maybe that doesn't bother you. I mean, I just think it's a little bit, you know, rubbishy. So if you just sand it down, and again, you know, you could use sandpaper for this. I just had these nail files kind of to hand, so I thought, well, actually, I'm just going to use these for today. So just to kind of clear that surface off like that, so it's not got the furry texture anymore. Okay, so like that. Now, this is probably more important for the painted ones, it's got to be said. You know, you maybe don't even need to really bother with this if you're doing covering paper. I will do this even for those I'm covering with paper, but, you know, it's again worth experimenting because you might find that actually, you know, you don't really need to do this at all if you're covering them. So, like that. Okay. Okay, and this one. Okay. Right, so you can see it makes a lot of mess here. So now I'm just going to run you through one or two before we kind of like, you know, mass make a bunch of these. So just like that, okay? Now this is one that I've obviously punched out, you know, prior to starting the video, but I just wanted to check that my punch was going to go through the chipboard. Now I've just got some wet wipes here, so I'm going to use the wet wipes to hopefully gather all of this in one, you know, one kind of try. Okay, so it is quite a dusty one. So don't do it if you're wearing something that you really don't want to get all dusty. Okay, right. So like that. Now what you could do here is just paint your entire surface. This is how I think it's probably quickest. So I'm going to paint the entire surface. I'm just going to use this sage green, I think. Oops, she says, and now it's, oh my goodness, not used this paint for a while. Now this is just regular acrylic paint. So again, nothing kind of, you know, special or anything like that. And you may want to give it a couple of coats. So I'll just go over once, like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to dry it off with my heat tool. Oops. Which is now on the floor, so not really very convenient. Okay, hold on. So dry this off. Oh, and the other thing that you will need, and I did totally forget to mention, is glossy accents. And that's going to be what's going to really kind of give your piece the finishing touch. So, yeah, glossy accents. Okay. If you don't have glossy accents, you could use Mod Podge. You know, it's not going to give you quite the same glossy finish, but it would certainly be fine. And then another thing that you could use is, well, actually, you could probably even use clear nail varnish. I mean, I haven't tried that, but I have seen other people do things like that. So you could possibly try that. And another thing is, you know, the heat embossing enamel. You could try that. You know, the ultra thick embossing powder, or that Tim Holtz, you know, embossing distress embossing powder. You could try that, to be honest. So, you know, you've got various different options. You don't have to use glossy accents, but you just want to use something that's going to give it a bit of a varnish. And like I say, I mean, you can use Mod Podge. You're just not going to end up with such a glossy finish. But I mean, if that doesn't bother you, then Mod Podge is more than fine. You know, it's definitely going to do the job. Okay. So again, let me just bring in a wet wipe just on my table. And then I'm just going to, yeah, oh, I've got now paint all over my scissors. This is how my stuff ends up so messy. Yeah. Okay. So again, just mop this up. Oh my goodness, what a mess. Okay, right. Let's just get that out of the way. So that's our first one. Now, what you can do now is either put your pieces on first, or you can stamp them first. I think punch them first. I think probably stamping actually is probably going to be better for this, to be honest. Because you're going to then be able to get your circle, you know, if you're using a circle punch, a bit more accurate, you know, rather than trying to stamp your piece afterwards. So just quickly dry this off a bit more. It wasn't quite dry. Okay. So I'm just going to pull in, I'm going to use one of those butterfly stamps from this little set. So, and like I say, these should be available on my website. Now, please excuse my terrible stamp block. I am just so appalling with my stamps. So yeah, I do apologise. I know some people do get a bit offended by it, and I really am very sorry. You know, I do acknowledge that it's not the best. So I'm just going to stamp this off a little bit. Okay, right. So you can see it's nice crisp black. So now obviously I want to kind of space these out so as I get a few different tiles, you know, so I don't want to put them right next to each other, obviously, because otherwise I'm not really going to have room to get in. So like that, okay. And then what I might do is do like a little bit of scripty stamping. So for this, oh, actually I have got those other stamps, which again should be available in my shop. with this tiny stamping, because I thought, well, what you need is something pretty thin, not thin, pretty tiny, to be stamped in the background. So these also in my shop, and you've got this tiny sort of texty stamp. So let's just, again, stamp that off. Oh my goodness, I can't see now whether that's up the right way or the wrong way. It's so tiny. So just, you know, I like to just have like a little bit in the background, just, you know, just so it's got a bit more interest really, rather than just the plain paint. But of course, you know, completely up to you how you kind of do that. So that's our chipboard. Now I'm just going to dry it off slightly more because you can see it's still a bit wet from the paint. Okay. Okay, right. So I'm just going to take my circle punch and then just punch one out. So if I just, whoops, go in like that. Okay. So this is why I'm saying it might be easier to do your stamping first rather than trying to, you know, judge where your middle is when you've already got your circle. It's probably easier to place your circle over the piece. So that's that. And then obviously you'll want to not decorate it, but you know, well, I say obviously, you might not. I'm so sorry if you can hear the dog. She's moving around, just, yep. My printer is printing, so I do apologise if you can hear the printer printing. And then obviously that's attracting Bo, and she's obviously then like, you know, oh, what's going on? What's going on down there with the printer? Why she's fascinated by the printer suddenly now, I have no idea, because, you know, it's generally going all the time. I don't know why it's fascinating her now, but oh, who knows, maybe it's spilling out into her bed because there's not much room down there. Maybe that's why. That would explain it. So I'm going to just take this is my vintage photo, just ink up a little bit around the edge. Like that, okay? How pretty does that look? And then we can obviously take our glossy accents or our, you know, Mod Podge or whatever you're going to use. I'm actually going to put a little bit of some bronzy kind of metallic around the edge as well. So this is just some paint from Deco Art. Because I'm struggling to get the vintage patina in the antique bronze and copper, that mix, I'm just using this now. It's a bit annoying because it doesn't dry half as fast. It's pretty good. It looks good, but it's not as fast drying. So yeah, it's not as good. But the finished look is pretty nice. So you can probably see that little glossy edge. Now I will have to wait for that to dry before I can obviously gloss it, but that's fine. So I'm just going to leave that to one side. So that is obviously, you know, the stamped version. Let's just very quickly run through a you know, paper covered version, and maybe stick you know, stick an image on rather than a stamp. So should we use this? This might be a little bit too dark, to be honest. Perhaps we'll use this one. Okay, so this is some of my papers, I think, from the Build Your Own Folio, which I'm so sorry, I can't remember your name, but there's a lady who's emailed me several times, keeps asking, when am I putting them in my shop? I'm so sorry. You know, I wasn't being rude when I said keeps asking. I'm meaning keeps asking. Oh my goodness, how slack am I that I still haven't put them in my shop. So I do apologise. They will definitely be going in my shop, those papers. I don't know what's going on, but I just haven't had time. So I'm really, really sorry. I will definitely get them in my shop very soon. Please be assured they are still on my radar. I know that I said that I would get them in there. So yeah, that's very much still the plan. It will be, you know, they will be coming soon. So yeah, I'm so sorry. Life just has this way of just passing you by, doesn't it? Right, so want to press that down hard with your Mod Podge. Obviously, you know, I mean, Mod Podge pretty fast drying, but it's not going to be instant. So, you know, we have to bear that in mind. So I'm just going to cut this out roughly, just so that it's easier to get to, you know, either with a punch or cutting down. So, and what we might do is do like a couple of square tiles here before we do sort of assembly line style, just so you can see the difference between the kind of square and the circle ones. So, okay. So that one. And then, yeah, let's take a couple of our little pieces from here. So, and like I say, these are the freebies from my website. So, you know, do go on and grab yourself a set if you haven't. Excuse me. And obviously some of these are going to be better than others, you know, to be using on these, you know. But I think they're all going to be, you know, pretty cute and quite usable. So I'm just going to take that one. Now, again, I've got Mod Podge still on my brush, so I'm just going to Mod Podge that down. And it doesn't really matter too much because obviously I will be glossy accenting or, you know, slash heat embossing or something, you know, putting some sort of varnish over this. So it doesn't really matter if it's got, you know, smudges of Mod Podge on it. That's not really going to be the end of the world. So I'll just take another one, maybe one of these little boots. It's quite cute, isn't it? Actually, I'm not sure. Oh, that looks very pretty on there. So yeah, let's have that one. Maybe even here. So again, just, oops, Mod Podge that. Now I'm saying Mod Podge, I mean, to be honest, it looks more paint than Mod Podge, but that's just because I didn't really clean my brush, but okay. So that one, and then we'll just put one up here. And, you know, this is where as well, these might show up better than stamped images if you're using your coloured, you know, your coloured paper or your patterned paper. These are probably going to show up better than your, you know, oops, your stamped images. I mean, we've got this teeny weeny one. It's so cute, isn't it? So I'm just going to ink around the edge slightly. I did cut these with my Scan and Cut. On the whole, it did cut them pretty well, actually. One or two it kind of cut into. But on the whole, it didn't do too bad a job. So, yeah, if you've got a Scan and Cut and you've, you know, downloaded these or you're going to download them, hopefully it should work. I didn't have to alter the colour or anything, you know, just use it on the default setting of, I think it's like 5 or something like that. I just went with that and touch wood. You know, it did work. So yeah, hopefully it's okay to use. Right, okay, let me just get another clean dry wipe now just to help press these down. So that's those, and then now I'm going to just see if we can use a circle. So the circle there. Okay, oops. Right, now you can probably see, because this is quite a lot for that punch to be going through, and probably not helped by the fact that my glue is not dry, it's pretty tatty around the edges. Now, that doesn't bother me, because again, what you can do is just go in with your sanding block, sand off the scruffy edge, okay, like that. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to take my Distress ink, ink that up a bit. Like that. And I think this one too would benefit quite well from the, you know, the sort of bronze edging. So I'm just going to again take some of the bronzy colour paint, okay, and then just edge that around. I should probably just keep this out because something tells me I'll be using this quite a bit, but okay. So I just like to do this with my finger, to be honest. Just go around the edge like that. Okie dokie. Oops, like that. Okay. So how cute does that look? It's really pretty, isn't it? So we'll just put that one there to dry as well. And then, I mean, obviously they're going to look even nicer once they're glossy accented. I'm going to keep this to one side because we might want to use that, you know, again for some others. So that's pretty much all that we're doing. So yeah, I think we can probably just get on and sort of mass make a bunch. So what I might do is peel my chipboard down so that it's like ready for using. Sand it all down. And then either paint it all or cover it all with paper. Add my elements, punch it out, you know, distress it. So yeah, like true assembly line styling. So yeah, if you want to kind of, you know, join along, that's what I'm going to be doing. It's up to you, obviously, how you do them, but I think for me that's going to be the most efficient way. And we'll just relax and have a nice catch up. And yeah, just do some nice mass making and yeah, hopefully just enjoy ourselves. So yeah, so I hope that everybody has had a good week. For those people who watch my channel, you'll know that I always film these on a Monday, ready to go up on the Tuesday. So like I say, I've come out with this cold. Came out with it, I think on, I can't remember whether it was, I think on Thursday I came out with a bit of it. And then weirdly enough, it seemed to come to nothing. And so by Friday, I felt fine again. And then I think it was Saturday, I then felt rubbish. I think it was Saturday afternoon. It sort of came on quite suddenly. And actually, I didn't really feel that well at all. On Saturday night, I didn't really feel very well. And then yesterday, did I feel... No, I don't think I felt brilliant all day yesterday, which was Sunday for me. And then in the night, I was awake in the night. Honestly, thought I was going to be sick. And I very rarely kind of, you know, touch wood, very rarely get tummy kind of troubles or anything like that. But I had really bad pain in my tummy and I didn't feel too good. But to be honest, I wondered whether that was, you know, where I'd taken the ibuprofen, because sometimes I think, you know, those tablets kind of upset your tummies, don't they, a little bit? And because I don't very often take tablets, you know, I think my tummy's, you know, it perhaps just didn't like the tablets. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I wasn't really feeling great. So I didn't even go to the gym this morning. I've been so slack this morning. I've not even been to the gym. Because I'd, you know, been awake quite a bit in the night, feeling not very well. So I thought, oh, I'll have a day away from the gym. And I had a lot of stuff I needed to do today. You know, obviously I had my mass making video. I had something to do for my, you know, divorce stuff. So yeah, that was going to obviously, you know, take a bit of my kind of concentration. And like I say, I'm super excited because I have been working a lot over the weekend on my shop. So, and when I say my shop, like I say, I mean on my website rather than my Etsy shop. So touch wood, you know, at the time of obviously, you know, this going up tomorrow, I'm hoping there will be a few items in my shop. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be like a fully stocked shop. You know, unfortunately, I haven't kind of found a way to mass bulk put my digis on there or anything like that. So I am still trying to work out how to do that. So, but all these things take time, don't they? Because it's lots of Googling and YouTubing how to do things and then trying to teach yourself how to do things. So, yeah, all those things will take a little bit of time. But touch wood, I now have a few products listed in there, which I'm so excited about. And some of the products are, you know, what do you call them? You know, they're new products that I've bought, things that I like to use that I thought, well, I'm going to list some of those. I'm hoping I'm going to have some of the trim that I use, you know, the Varimontes trim and things like that. Again, it's fully going to be there. It just really is time, you know, time dependent, you know. So as soon as I get time to put these things on there, they will be on there. But in the meantime, so far, oh gosh, I've just stabbed my finger in that gold. So far, at the point of filming this video, I've listed, I think it's 4 products in there. So I feel excited. But I have listed cluster packs. What else did I list? Oh, some paper ruffle packs, grab bags, paper ruffle grab bags. which I'm really excited by. What else did I put on there? Oh, let's have some lilac. Oh, what else did I have on there? Oh, do you know, I've got a complete blank now. I can't remember what the other things were that I put in there. But anyway, 4 products. And, oh, some more of my die cut packs, which they, you know, have been in my Etsy. Yeah, I think on my Etsy shop before. And touch wood, they were really well received. So I've got some more of those on there. And, you know, obviously they're all potluck basis, you know, all of these things. And they're all unique. They're all slightly different. So you're all going to get unique things. So I'm very, very, very excited by those things. So yeah, they're all in there. And then I've got lots of ideas, you know, on my notes on my iPad, lots of ideas for other things that I'm going to be stocking into my shop. So like I say, I've kind of got them all like lined up ready. It's just a case of packing things, finalizing them, photographing them and getting them on there. So yeah, I'm really excited anyway, because you know, it's hopefully going to be looking more like a shop soon. Well, I mean, it already looks a bit more like a shop now with just the, you know, the handful of things that are on there. But yeah, very excited. And then there's going to be oh, excuse me, obviously the same old, you know, the section with the freebies and things like that. So, you know, hopefully it's going to be kind of a nice place to go where you can kind of, you know, get some things. Oh, I'm so sorry about this. I'm going to have to just keep stopping the camera because every time I speak, it's just causing me to be coughing. So hold on a moment. Right, fingers crossed I'll be good for a few minutes. I've had a big glug of water. So yeah, hopefully it'll be not too bad for a few minutes. But please don't worry about me. I'm absolutely fine. You know, it's just a cold. So yeah, it's all fine. Hopefully it'll be gone soon. I might mix this with a little bit of white because it feels a little bit on the dark side. So actually, I'm just going to put some on here. So I've got some here, you know, to use. I mean, I guess the other thing that you could do, if you didn't want to sand your pieces down, you know, if you've got the slightly glossy chipboard, then a lot of pink came out there, didn't it? Then the other thing that you could do is probably just gesso over it, to be honest. That would probably be, you know, equally as good. So, yeah, I mean, any of these things are fine. So, okay, right. And to be honest, you know, if you're thinking, oh my goodness, that looks awful. I mean, by the time that these are, you know, stamped and then, you know, distress inked and then they're glossy accented and all of that stuff, it's not going to look quite like that. You know, well, hopefully it's not going to look like that. It's going to look a lot better. So, you know, they're quite forgiving in that aspect. Okay, right. Let's just, oh, that's quite a nice colour, isn't it? Let's just quickly do one like that. Okay. Okay. Oh, I should have bought some other colours. I don't need to go up on those, you know, crown prongs because, of course, they're not going to be cut into a chipboard tile, are they? Okay, right. Let's put that to one side. Oh, very heavy on wipes, this project. So, yeah, you may want to have quite a few wipes around. Now, at the weekend, I posted something on Instagram, just going off at a tangent. Sorry, this is that wipe where I've got all those bits from the sanding. Yeah, I don't know if many of you go on to Instagram. Now, I have to be honest, I'm really, really, really rubbish and do not very often go on Instagram. It's one of those rabbit holes that when you do go on there, you're kind of then just on there for ages. And, you know, I just, just don't really get to go on there very often, unfortunately, because actually when I do go on there, it's like, wow, you know, what a feast for the eyes, you know, all the different projects and things like that. Anyway, if you did happen to go on there, I posted a post on Instagram I think it was on Saturday, but it could have been on Sunday, saying I've got a really exciting project coming up using 12 by 12 papers. So yeah, I'm going to be putting it up tomorrow, i.e. Wednesday. I'm so excited by it. It literally kept me from sleeping the other night. Going to have to dry this off. Literally kept me from sleeping the other night. I was so excited. So I really, really hope that you guys are going to be just as excited as I was by it. Yeah, it's going to be going up on Wednesday, and I've never really seen anything like it before. Again, I know I always say this, but you know, just because I'm saying that, it doesn't mean it hasn't been done. It means that I have not seen it. So I apologise, you know, if you have seen it before, or if you have even done it before, you know, I really do apologise. I personally had not seen it ever done before. So I am so excited by it, and yeah, I can't wait, literally can't wait to share it with you. I would do a bit of a preview now, like a sneak peek, but I feel like that may ruin it for tomorrow, so I'm going to keep the suspense going a bit longer. But yeah, please do join me on Wednesday, because I am very excited by it. And it's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and then probably Friday as well. All being well. It's definitely going to be Wednesday and Thursday. Project for Wednesday and Thursday. But hopefully... Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Right. Okay, now going to just cover a few with paper. I can't remember what I was saying before I had that coughing fit, so I do apologise. Oh, it's going to be a bit like that today, I'm afraid. Right, let's just quickly clean the brush off as best I can. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That was my son going out. Right, okay. Let's just quickly, you know, leaving. What did we do at the weekend? So aside from the fact that I was not feeling too brilliant, what did we do? Oh, what indeed. Now I've got a complete blank. Can't think at all what I did at the weekend. Oh, Saturday, I think, just, yeah, went to see my mum and dad, and, yeah, my son and my daughter came with me, and we took the dog, and, yeah, we saw my other sister there as well. So, yeah, you know, my daughter was able to play with my sister's son. They're kind of the same age, and I've said this lots of times before. But, yeah, so that's always nice, because they obviously enjoy hanging out together. Well, they have their moments when they don't, obviously, like all children. But yeah, they had a nice time. There we go. Right, let's move that. Okay. And yeah, trying to think. Oh, yesterday, absolutely just boring. Just did a food shop. Went to Costa. Oh, it was that day, you know, where the clocks go forward. And, you know, although that's lovely, because now we're going to have the light evenings, I hate that day so much, because the day is so short. You know, I mean, Sundays, it's the only day that I kind of don't exercise. And, you know, I look forward to it, because I obviously, you know, I come and do crafting in the morning and, you know, just have a really nice time. Well, of course, you know, the time just flew by yesterday. So before I knew it, it was already 10:30, and I was still sat around in my onesie. I'm so sorry if you can hear my printer. Yeah, just still sat around in my onesie, crafting, you know, hadn't even got showered or dressed or anything. And I just thought, oh, it's so annoying. And then my son had, you know, been out on Saturday night, and he'd stayed at a friend's house. So then he messaged me and said, oh, Mum, can you come and pick me up? And of course I didn't mind picking him up, but you know when you're like, oh really, you know, this is my worst day anyway, because it's so short, and now I've got to go and pick you up. So anyway, yeah. So, and what was worse, he said at 10:30, and of course I then didn't see the message, you know, because I was crafting. So, you know, I wasn't like looking at my thing, you know, my device. So, of course, by the time I then saw it, it was just fluke that I just happened to stop what I was doing at 10:30, well, 10:25. And I looked and it said 10:25, and he said, could you pick me up at 10:30? I was like, really? 10:30? It is now 10:30, pretty much. So, yeah, it was all very annoying. But anyway, it was all fine. You know, and I mean, you know, to be fair to him, I mean, he hardly ever asked for a lift, you know. So I can't complain or anything, you know. And of course he can't drive, so I mean it's not really his, you know, his fault that he needed a lift. But it was just annoying because I thought, oh my goodness, this is such a short day anyway. And now look, I literally had to jump in the car in my onesie. I thought, oh, please don't anybody, you know, I don't know, don't have anything happen that I need to stop for, you know. The reason I say that is because I always remember years ago, this was a long time ago, it was when I was married, and yeah, my husband and I, we had been to the cinema, and we left the cinema and I needed the loo, and it was about a half an hour drive home, and I needed the toilet a little bit, but I thought, oh, I'll wait, you know, wait till we get home. And somebody went in the back of our car on the way home, and I mean, at the time, we didn't think it was anything too bad. You know, we kind of obviously stopped, you know, to exchange details and all of that kind of stuff, you know, and it was all fine. And then the person drove off, you know, after we'd exchanged details and all of that. So it was all, you know, seeming fine. They drove off. And then we discovered that somehow, whatever, you know, they'd done, it had gone into the car at such a force that it had, like, pushed like something into the engine, like the, you know, I think it was the exhaust pipe had kind of like gone, you know, been hit and smashed into like something in the engine. So at that point we had to wait for like an AA man to be able to come and take us home because the car wouldn't drive. And obviously we didn't know that until we went to pull away, you know. So while we had exchanged details with the person, we obviously weren't aware that there was a more serious problem. You know, it was fine. But obviously the moral of that story was, you know, you should never kind of leave anywhere, should you, if you're like needing the loo or not dressed, you know, in your onesie. Because you just don't know what's going to happen. And like that day, it was just sod's law that I thought, oh, you know, it's only half an hour. I'll wait till I get home. And that half an hour turned into about 2.5 hours. So I was absolutely bursting by the time we got home. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry having to keep stopping the camera. It's very, very, very irritating. I do apologise. Yeah, anyway, so I've kind of learnt my lesson, although not that much judging by yesterday going out in my onesie, but definitely, you know, wherever I'm kind of going, if I'm a little bit needing the toilet, I do try and think, oh, I had best go, because you just never can tell, you know, if you're going to be then, you know, caught out and then really needing to actually, needing to go. So I've semi learnt my lesson. Let's just say that. Right, okay, so we've got that one with the pretty paper. It looks nice, doesn't it? So I think what I'll do is I'm going to just do another butterfly on this one. So just pressing this one down. Oh, I thought, well, that's weird. It's got a ridge. Of course, I punched a hole in there, which I'd forgotten. So, yep, let's take the black stays on. You don't have to use black. You could use any other colour. In fact, perhaps we will use a different colour just to be a bit more exciting. So, yeah, perhaps I'll use... Let's use the black cherry, I think. Okay. Actually, I should probably just stamp this off, just in case it's... Oh, gosh. Honestly, sometimes I don't know what is wrong with me. I think, oh, I'll get prepped, you know, have some paint put out, prepped, and then, lo and behold, I'd put something on it anyway. So I needn't have bothered. Right. Just stamp that off a couple of times, because obviously otherwise the black's kind of coming through there. There we go. Right. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, that one. And then we'll just go around the other side because, you know, like I said before, you need to make sure you've left enough room to be able to get your circle punch in. So hopefully I have. But that looks really nice on there, doesn't it? I must say. And yeah, I mean, actually using different coloured inks, I haven't really done that very much before. You know, I haven't had a big variety of colours, I suppose, before. But, oh my goodness, how pretty did that look? So this one has got some of this bluish paper. So now I'm thinking, well, perhaps we'll use a bluish ink on this one. So hold on a second. You just get a couple of different coloured StazOns. Oh, I've got midnight blue. Or, oh, I've got. Oh, I'm not sure how much that hydrangea blue will show up, if I'm truthful. So yeah, maybe that one's not the best one after all. Oh, this looks pretty though. Okay. Yeah, right. Okie dokie. So now this has got that text, so I just need to be careful. Hope for the best that it's going to show. Yeah, it still does. So this one I might do this way around. Oh, how pretty does that look? I love it. Absolutely love it. Right, let's just see. Don't know whether to... Oh, let's do one on here. So this is my gorgeous damask papers. And again, just, you know, just using scraps, but I think this is going to look really nice. So let's just... Oh, let's do a green one on here, actually. Yeah, I was about to do the blue, and then I thought, actually, let's do that Eden green on here. So, yeah. I love StazOn ink pads. Now, I was really lucky because the lovely Michelle, who runs the Facebook group, she was very kind, and she bought me a batch of, you know, different colours, which was so kind of her. So thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's so lovely having all the different colours. Well, not all the different colours, but, you know, having lots of different colours, because you can then be a bit more adventurous with the pieces that you're doing. Excuse me. So, I mean, that one looks really nice, doesn't it? So let's just take one more. Okie dokie. Now, do we want to stamp over this one, or do we want to use one of those little pieces? Let's just have a look and see. Oh, I mean, that looks pretty nice on there, doesn't it? Oh, I don't know now. Oh, the balloon looks pretty nice on there, doesn't it? Yeah, perhaps I'll use the balloon. Yeah, I think I'll use the balloon. Let's just see if we want to do one more stamped one. Again, just while I've got that lovely green here. So, yeah. Now, I could probably, you know, if I was careful, get maybe two out of this sheet. But, you know, I don't want to just be like sat here taking forever. So I'm just going to, yeah, go for it. So just go for it like that. How gorgeous does that look? Oh, I love it. Right, let's put that away, put that away, put that away. Actually, I'm going to keep this out for a second. Right, now, this one, I'm just going to ink this up slightly around the sides. Okay. Again, just use the Mod Podge. Now, what I was going to say was next week's mass making, we're going to be doing, doing little ribbon banners, which work perfectly well with these chipboard tiles. So, you know, keep your tiles somewhere handy, because that's what we'll be doing next week. And it just, you know, it's a lovely kind of tie-in project for these. So, yeah, try and keep them somewhere safe. And when I say keep them somewhere safe, you know, I don't mean so safe that you can't find them, because That's what I normally do, is just, yeah, keep them safe means, oh my goodness, I've lost them completely. Yeah, so try not to actually do as I'm saying and just lose your bits completely, but try and just keep them somewhere that you can find them. Right, this one. Wonder if she will fit. Not really. Well, kind of, I suppose. Let's just see if there's some other bits that might be better. Yeah, so anyway, I do hope that everybody else's week has started out, you know, well. I hope that you're all well. Hope that nobody else got, you know, miserable colds. I mean, honestly, over here, everyone seems to have a cold at the moment. So my daughter was home from school last week. I think she might have been home on the Monday when I did the mass making. I can't really remember. But yeah, she was definitely home a couple of days anyway. With a very, very sore throat. Hers wasn't really such a cold, actually, it's got to be said. But I'm assuming that that's what I've got is, you know, whatever it was that she had, because it's mainly my throat that's kind of affected. But yeah, everyone just seems to have something at the moment over here. So, you know, I hope that you're all doing well. And if you've got a cold, I hope that, you know, you're not feeling too bad with it. There we go. Okie dokie. Right. So I have no clue how long I've been filming for, because I've had to stop and start so many times. So I am kind of aware that, you know, I could be like dragging on now a little bit. So I don't want to kind of really bore everybody. So I'll just cut a couple down here. Right. So this one obviously a bit irregular because it's that kind of butterfly. So yeah, might have to just do a couple of squarish tiles out of this one. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's just see, am I better off doing it, cutting it in half? Maybe like that. Yeah, I might just be better off doing it kind of in two halves perhaps. Okay. I don't know. And that's going to be a pretty tiny tile, it's got to be said. But, you know, tiny doesn't necessarily mean rubbish, does it? I mean, it can still look pretty cute, even though it's tiny. So, yeah, let's put that one down. Loving this colour, this bright teal against that damask colour. Looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm just going to cut this down. Oh my goodness, I can't really see. Right, let's cut that down there. So yeah, we've gone for obviously a rectangular chipboard tile this time. Okay, so very, very, very tiny, like I say, but that's still fine. So I'm just going to see if I can move that up slightly. That Mod Podge dries so quickly. Okay, well that will do. Right, okay, and then this one. So again, might just, actually I wonder if I can, don't know whether that's big enough to have a circle. No, not quite, unfortunately. So yeah, let's do a square. So again, it's quite a tiny square. So we just cut that one down. Okay. Should we do that on there? Or I've got some other little bits. Honestly, these are just perfect for these. They're, yeah, they're really good. Oh, that one's too big. Literally, as I say, oh, they're really perfect for these, you know. And I pick one that's too big for it. But hey, I mean, I have made this a very, very small rectangular piece. So, right, let's just mop that off. Okay, like that. Okay, right. Let's just dab that up. Okay, right. So I'm going to, you know, leave it there with regards to making these, because obviously, you know, I feel like we've made quite a few now. So let's just tidy up a little bit so I'm not just knocking everything flying on the desk. Okay. Right, get all this cleared up a little bit. Get my sanding block, because definitely I need that. Get my circle punch and punch out my, you know, remaining tiles. So you might need to cut some down so that you can get in a little bit better with your circle. So like that. Okay. Oh, now it doesn't want to punch. Oh, this is now where the video now gets more and more disastrous. Oh dear. Right, I've obviously now punched this one, or, you know, not taken this one quite thin enough. So, but it's fine because it's punched through enough that I've got like a template for the circle. So that's fine. Okay. Okie dokie. Right, now obviously once I sand that, it will look a bit better. Well, hopefully it will. Who knows, it might not. So I'm just going to put them all to this side, the ones that need kind of finishing. Okay, right, let's fingers crossed this one's a bit easier to go through. Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, come on. Sometimes it helps if you press on that edge. No, that's not helped. Not helped with that one. Yeah, I mean, obviously a big shot or something would probably work better for this. But, you know, I didn't want to bring my big shot over to the desk. It wouldn't fit on the desk even if I wanted to, let's be honest. Because my desk is so messy, but hopefully we're just getting the gist here anyway. So this one, let's see if I can do a circle. Oh, come on. Come on, come on. Oh my goodness. So fiddly. No, still doesn't want to go through. Right, so yeah, definitely, you know, the big shot's going to be better. Or, you know, the paint, actually, you know, the painted ones of these were fine. It's once I've started sticking the paper on and things like that, you know, they're potentially getting a little bit thick for your, you know, for my punch. So, you know, just play around, like I say, just experiment and see how you get on. But, oh my goodness, I made like the worst job on the planet of that circle. It's no longer resembling a circle, really. Oh my goodness, what a mess. Anyway, right, never mind. So, yeah, let's move that to one side. Let's just, should we do a couple of square ones? Yeah, let's just do a square here. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay, and then these ones here on the blue, which I love. Okay. Like that. And like that. Okay. I mean, aren't they just looking so pretty? Absolutely love them. We'll just do this one, I think, as a square as well. Okay, I mean, that one, we might even be able to do that as an oval, to be honest. Again, we'll have to see if the oval punch will go through it. It might be too thick, but it'd be cool if it did. Just take that one down there. And like that. Oh my goodness. Okay, right, so we've got a few now to be working with. So I will obviously leave the rest, you know, and do the rest in kind of slow time. But so now what we want to obviously do is, you know, sand around our edges. And if you've got the, you know, these square tiles, what you can do is round your corners off by just literally sanding down. Now, these are nail files. I got these from Amazon. I did actually get them for my nails. Actually, as it happens, they weren't brilliant. but they have proved pretty useful for crafting. So yeah, I can't remember what I searched, but it was something probably like, you know, nail sanding block or something like that. But hey, sandpaper works absolutely fine, you know, and probably other things as well. So, but I just thought I would share with you that, you know, that's what I'm using. So, and again, obviously if you then get this happen where you've got like kind of the secondary layer coming out from behind, then you can obviously sand that down as well, if that makes sense. So like that. Now how cute does that look? And then we can just go in with our distress ink like that. Okay, again, I'm thinking this one would look really lovely with some edging, so I'm going to edge that with some bronzy colour. So let's do a couple more, and then you know, we'll kind of finish off. So oops, not sanded this down. So yeah, I should probably, you know, assembly line style these. So, but again, because I'm now wondering how long I've been filming for and thinking, oh my goodness, I'm sure this is dragging on and on for you. So yeah, I do apologise. There we go. Right. So that's a couple. Let's do this gorgeous one because that looks so cute, doesn't it? And even though it's tiny, you know, it's still going to look good, I think. So just take that down like that. Okay. I mean, it's surprising the difference it makes once you've sanded them down, to be honest. They look, you know, 100% better as soon as you sand them. Okay. Like that. Oh, shall we do this one now quickly? Yeah. Let's just finish this one off. And then I'm going to just get the gilding stuff, and we will gild around the edges of probably all of these, actually. I mean, I didn't know whether I wanted to do all of them, but yeah. I mean, actually, that one, maybe not. Okay, this one. Now, I had kept the green out because I thought for that one, actually, I might do the green around the edge. And actually, I have even got some green patina that we could use, but, you know, it's probably not necessary. So, yeah, let's just go round the green. Now, I have to be careful because this is reasonably new ink pad, so it's probably pretty juicy, but just picking up around the edge, whoops, like that. Okay, so it's quite delicate. You can't really kind of see it in all the angles or all the lights. I hope that the camera's picking it up. But there's just enough green on there to just bring the green in, if you see what I mean. So like that, and then we're just going to use our, you know, gildy paint. So yeah, it's probably enough there, even though it's only a tiny drop. It's probably enough because I mean these are only titchy. Well, this one's especially titchy. Okay, like that. Okie dokie. Oops. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous does that look? Should we go around this one, I think, as well? You know, I mean, you really could be quite experimental and, you know, do all sorts of different finishes on these. You know, I'm just using this really because I'm not very adventurous. Yeah, not really got lots of ideas, but you know, I mean, I'm sure that there are loads of different things that you could use. I'm sure you don't have to just stick to this kind of goldy colour. You know, I mean, you could go around them with all sorts of things, I think. I mean, you could maybe even like just gesso over them if you wanted them to have a more white kind of edge look. You know, just, yeah, different stuff. But I do really like this, you know, the bronzy look. I think it's a really nice finish, to be honest. So, you know, aside from being really boring, it is probably one of my favourite kind of looks anyway. So, you know, they do look, I think, I'm not saying best, but definitely, yeah, it's one of my favourite looks. So I'm going to move this out the way now, so as I don't get it on everything. Move these out the way because they still need finishing. So I'm going to have to dry these off before I can glossy accent them, because that stuff takes a while to dry. I wonder if these are dry yet. Yeah, that one seems dry. Yeah, and that one's dry. Okay. So, like that. Okay, right. So they're nice and dry now, and then, well, hopefully they're nice and dry. Going to get my glossy accents, and I'm not quite finished. So the other thing that I'm going to bring in, right, this is my little jar of jewels. And in here I'm hoping I've got titchy little pearls. Oh my goodness. I mean, how on earth I'm going to find them in amongst all of these is beyond me, but hopefully, yeah, I was hoping they're going to just drop out. And luckily I can see one has at least. So that's one. So obviously these are pretty tiny tiles. So you're going to want pretty tiny gems or pretty tiny pearls, you know, if you've got them. But, you know, I mean, obviously you don't have to have gems or pearls or anything else at all. You know, this is just literally a, you know, just a little add-on that, you know, I thought might be fun. Let's just try again. See if I can drop some out. There we go. So we've got a couple. Put them there. Really? Only 2 have come out? I mean, come on. I mean, there are bigger ones. I'm not sure whether they may be too big, so we'll get them out just in case, but I'm thinking they might be too big. Okay, let's just give it another shake. Come on, tiny ones. Drop out, drop out. Okay, right, we've got a few. So, right, let's put them there. Some are gems and some are pearls by the looks of things, but that's okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Right. Oh my goodness me. Okay, right. So, yeah, like I say, some are pearls, some are gems, but that's all fine. So I'm going to get my little pokey tool thing. This is just to be able to manoeuvre them around once they're onto the, you know, the glossy accents. It's hopefully going to help slightly. So perhaps I'll try and zoom in a bit. Okay. Right. Hopefully this is going to be easy-ish to see. Obviously I realise these are quite tiny now. Right, let's take my paper. This is just so that I can pick them up and move them off the desk easily once they're done. Now, this one I'm just going to see. Because this is a slightly bigger one, so I thought, no, you see those bigger pearls are really a bit too big. Now, take your glossy accents. You're just going to cover your whole thing with the glossy accents. Now, I always need to, you know, unclog it. Now, I like to be quite generous with the glossy accents. And I know I've talked about this before, and, you know, I'm not, again, trying to say that this is the best way, but what I find the best way is just to try and spread it with my finger. If I try and spread this with, you know, a paintbrush or anything, I just get brush marks. So I've always found the best way is just spread it with my finger, just by kind of like dragging it out a bit, like that. Okay, now obviously what you can do as an alternative to this is go round like helter-skelter style. I know that sounds a bit weird, but yeah, I'll try and show you on the next one. So, like that. I mean, I just find this to be the best way, to be honest. It's not so extravagant, I think, on the glossy accents, which the next method that I show you probably is a bit more extravagant. So then you're going to just take a couple of your little pearls. 1, 2, Oh my goodness. And then a third one. I don't know why I like threes, but I just think three is good. Okay, right. Oh my god. Gosh, look. Right, so once they're in there, take your pokey tool and you can then just kind of line them up. Like that. Oh my gosh. Not making a good job of this, but anyway. I think I've pressed them in a bit too far, but that one definitely. Okay. So once that dries, those pearls will be kind of, yeah, raised compared to the rest. So that's that one. Right, I'm just going to show you what I meant by the Helter Skelter style. And, you know, like I say, this is just kind of different ways to do this. But what you can do is kind of go around the edge, you know, like this. Now, I'm not making a good job because obviously this is sideways onto me. It would be easier to do if it was flat. But you can go around like that and then it's going to be completely filled in and you probably don't need to touch it with your finger at all. Because mine was sideways on, I still couldn't see what I was doing, so I'm still going to have to kind of touch it up. Oh, touch it up a little bit with my finger. So I just, you know, drag it out anywhere where it's missed. I just, you know, drag it basically. Okay, like that. Okay. And then again, you could put on a couple of gems if you want them. So let's just see. 1, 2. These might be a bit big, to be honest. Again, they look a little bit on the big side, don't they? Yeah, I'm thinking they might be a little bit big. So let me just see how they'd look on that one. I think it would look better with pearls. What about on this one? Let's just see. No, I'm liking the pearls best, definitely. Yeah, so that one I might just leave, you know, pearlless completely. This one, oh, I've only got one. Oh no, yeah. I've only got two pearls now. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? Because I would have liked this with pearls, definitely. This one looked like it was going to look really good with some pearls. Let's just see whether this one would benefit from maybe even just one. I can't really imagine what it would look like with just one gem, to be honest. I mean, that just feels like that's a bit weird to me. It, you know, looks a bit plonked on there when it's just one. So that's, yeah, a bit odd. But I mean, you could try and put them in the corners. I don't know whether that would be, you know, whether that would work. I don't know. I mean, that one's not bad with 2 because it's a very tiny tile. So this one, I'm just going to try and set those 2. So we just put the glossy accents in. Okie dokie. Like that. Okay. Like that. Okie dokie, right. And then just pop these on. So 1. Oh no, what's happened to my other one? Oh, it's dropped off over there. Oh, thank goodness it didn't go far. Right, so again, just move that down with the pokey tool. Like that. So that one. And then just move that one down. Like that. How cute! How cute does that look? So, yeah, I'm just going to literally glossy accent the rest and then kind of, you know, that will be done. So, just take this one and some on here. Okay, so again, just spread this out. I'm not going to do that blue one because I think it would look gorgeous with some pearls. So, yeah, definitely want to put some pearls on that one. So, I will leave that one for the moment. I mean, I guess, yeah, these maybe you could put one gem in the middle of a butterfly. I don't know how that would look, but maybe that would look quite cute. Should we just have a look and see? Not on this one, but let's just see how it would look if we took one of those gemstones and put it in the middle of the butterfly. Come on. Oh, no. Can't even get the gem on the right way. Oops. So, I mean, you could have it like that. That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? Yeah, maybe not on that one, but maybe on this one. I don't know now. Maybe on this one. Oh yeah, on that one. That looks nice, doesn't it? So again, this one I haven't sanded down. Let me just move it off of the desk so as I'm not dropping bits all over my glossy accents. So, okay. Like that. And then we're just distressing this a little bit. Okay. Right, I have not gilded this one at all. Oh look, I found a third pearl. I could have done that blue one after all. Oh, fancy not spotting that. Just noticed that pearl's kind of come out slightly. Well, not come out, but you know, it wasn't lined up properly. I can't believe that. That's so annoying. Right, do we want to put something around the edge of this or not? I mean, you can always put things around the edge of it after the glossy accent in, to be honest. It doesn't really matter. You know, so yeah, if I decide that this needs, you know, edging in some way, I can always do that afterwards. So it's not the end of the world. So, okie dokie. Right. Like that. And then just take your gem. Oh my goodness, look what's happened to the gem. Oh, that's definitely not in the middle. Oh no! Again, it's another how not to do. Okay. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Right. Oh, that's well lopsided. Well over. Okay, right. Hopefully that's better now. So there we go. Right, we've done abysmally. I've done abysmally. You may have done really well. Yes, I've only made 6 completed ones, but I have got quite a few that are sort of half finished. So I'm going to get on and finish the rest ready for next week. And then we'll come back next week. We're going to do, you know, some other things with these. So yeah, keep them somewhere safe so you know where they are for next week. And ribbons is the theme next week. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to join me tomorrow on Wednesday for the really exciting project that I hope you're going to love, love, love. Yeah, I can't wait. So it's going to be Wednesday and Thursday for definite, maybe Friday as well. And yeah, I'm just really hoping that you're all going to really, really love them, what we're going to be making, and, you know, just think it's a brilliant idea. So yeah, very excited for that one. So thank you so much, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. If you like this video, if you could give it a thumbs up, that would be fantastic. And yep. Oh, and don't forget that, you know, hopefully I've stocked my shop now. So, you know, head over there, not only for your freebies, you know, to be able to do this video if you want those tiny pieces, but also for the, you know, to have a checkout of my shop if, you know, if you want to. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.